Oh, come on, this has been such a long loading screen. Look at this. Look at this. There we go. Hi, guys. Welcome to another video. I'm not sure if I'm looking forward to this at all. Because the story here is good, and at the end of the day, it's the second to last quest, right? So, I mean, it's kind of exciting, but it's also hard. And I remember how hard this is, and I don't know how many times I'm going to wipe. But, yeah, so welcome to another episode. This is the first time we're going to see why I did all of this in hard mode. There were two reasons I did it in hard mode. Number one was that we hadn't really done anything in hard mode at all on the channel, so I thought it would be nice to cap off everything with hard mode. But number two, and more importantly, you get extra story and extra stuff in part 3 for doing it in hard mode, and even then only really at the end of part 3, and that kind of starts now. So that's kind of why I did it, and now we're finally going to see a difference in this quest to its normal mode version. More stuff is added, and I'll tell you that when we get to it. I already spoiled this on Guild Wars 2 Daily once, so if you're watching like both of those, you probably already know it's coming, and for that I regret it, but it's cool anyway. So there's some exciting stuff happening, but man, I can almost guarantee I'll have to do this more than once. Anyway, let's speak to Kowloon. Enough blabbing, let's get on with it. He says, I knew, and we're definitely going to have to split the episode. He says, I knew we could count on you to volunteer, but we're short on time. The Ministry of Purity has moved off of Xingji Island in order to hunt down the gangs of Kaineng, and we all know how that's going. They thought the Sinsali had lost the will to fight, but that's exactly what the clever birds wanted us to believe. The Sinsali have already surrounded the monastery, and it's only a matter of time before they break through the gates. The Ministry is nowhere to be found, and we're the only ones close enough to reach Xingji in time. Say the word and we'll depart. See, this is interesting, the circumstances for how this has happened here, because, I mean, before the Ministry of Purity were about, there were arguably more Sinsali, because loads of them hadn't already been slaughtered by said Ministry of Purity. So there were a lot of Sinsali on the island, but they weren't going nuts and attacking whenever, like, this non-existent group's back was turned, right? So if they had the strength to overrun the monastery back then, why didn't they? And now they've decided to. What, is it just because they're angry? Well, that doesn't make them seem very smart, does it? Anyway, so yeah, the ministry's left, and now the Sinsali, who were being held in check somewhat, are now going to attack the monastery. And the Ministry of Purity don't seem to care. Probably because the Ministry, Reiko was like tricked by them earlier, so she's just a bit angry and she's an idiot. Anyway, loads of requisition orders, lots of gold as usual. We can say those Tengu don't realise they were attacking the School of Hard Knocks to their heads. Wait, what? Does that make sense? And the other one is, I've never really been a fan of education anyway. No, we're going to see something cool. Another familiar face. My speech at the start of the last episode is probably far more pertinent here. An old friend we're going to see. Maybe not a friend of Tom Bluewood's, but, well, yeah, kind of a friend of Tom Bluewood's, actually, because he went to the Jade Sea, didn't he? And that's where said friend... Oh, no, that's where Togo went. Oh, well, I've been pretty transparent about who we're about to meet. Are you ready to set sail? Yes, raise the anchors. Let's do it. And we go to Xingji Monastery. This is the defend mission at Xingji. And when we get here, what do you know? We've got all of the headmasters here from those early game areas, which is absolutely awesome. Even one of the apprentices, apparently. And we have the headmaster. Remember, Togo was the headmaster here before, and now it's Mhenlo. I'll talk about that in a minute. But Mhenlo says, thank the six you've arrived. The Sinsali fell back to regroup when you arrived, but there are many in number, and we'll be back soon. And the gate won't hold much longer, and the war that Headmaster Amara created on the staircase grows weaker by the moment. Are there more forces on the way? And we say the Sinsali have the monastery completely surrounded. We were barely able to get here ourselves. And Mhenlo says, what about the Ministry of Purity? And we say, it would seem chasing political dissidents is a higher priority to them than defending the lives within these walls. The young people, supposedly, but the thing is, the game never set up that they were all young people here, because, I mean, we started the game here at this monastery, and we certainly weren't like a kid. And Mhenlo says, even with the favour of the gods, I still feel we're outmatched. And we say, we just need to improvise. Quickly, I need rope, any empty bottles you can find, and every drop of lantern fuel you have. And Z says, I found some rice wine bottles, but they're full. That's this person over here, Z. So, then empty them, my child. Are you going to drink them? It'd be very cool if you drank them. Yes, Headmaster, says Z, who we can speak to, by the way. Oh, no, we can't speak to her just yet. So, do all the Headmasters have dialogue for us? No, good. Okay, that makes this far easier to Let's Play. Okay, what do you have planned, says Mhenlo. Yeah, what do we have planned? Since when were we a sudden master craftsman? I know we've become wise for Winds of Change, but this? Really? We say we can construct explosives out of these items. We can either throw them at the enemies over the walls or place them on the ground as traps. It's interesting they say over the walls, because that hints maybe at a tactic I've never tried on this mission, which is killing at monsters before they break through the gate. Mhenlo says, brilliant, here's the rope and fuel. Now, where are those rice wine bottles? And apprentice, he did drink them. She says, I'm emptying them as fast as I can. Come talk to... I can't hiccup on the command. Come talk to me when you need one. And the captain guard says, runs over from somewhere apparently. He says, Headmaster, the Sensali are coming back. And Mhenlo says, to the gates! I believe Mhenlo does have dialogue for us, though. No, he doesn't. That's crazy days. Alright, are they attacking now? They are attacking. So the front gate. My tactic here is a bit weird. Oh, no. I accidentally just hit the window button. Oh, dear. Oh, dear. That would have stopped the recording somewhat. Sync. There we go. We're back. Yeah, so, to the gates. The south gate is down. My tactic here is pretty much just defend the centre. I let some of the headmasters die. There are multiple gates. Again, it's a bit like the attack on Kaineng, except they'll mostly be attacking from both gates all the time. I just find it's probably riskier and safer at the same time. That makes no sense, does it? But it's kind of risky going out and attacking them head on. You do get the advantage of having your whole group killing one thing, and they're not near Mhenlo, who could be spiked out. If Mhenlo dies, it's quest over. If the rest die, it's fine. But also, if you're at the front, then you actually get the help that all these NPCs offer. So it's interesting. I mean, as you can see here, you've got a group coming in from there, and you've got a group coming in from here. I remember when me and Mike did it, we tried to fight here while that group over there were stalled somewhat. But it's the Sensali. I've mentioned before how dangerous the Sensali are. How Sensali, if you remember at that temple, the Sensali could kill the Ministry of Purity just fine. They use panic, so it's very, very important that you flag apart. They come in massive numbers. There's loads of guards here who I should have told to follow me earlier, but I've been caught up reading dialogue and stuff, so that's quite important. If you, with your flags, I would recommend you try and keep them, don't flag anyone behind Mhenlo, because if you do that, you're gonna have a bad time, because they could aggro Mhenlo before the rest of your team. Minion Master, very helpful here. Veritas Aura, also very helpful, but I haven't added that, I forgot about that. So that's very helpful. Now there's this extra mechanic that we heard earlier. See how they use Aura of the Lich here? That will make things very dangerous for you on the minion front. A lot of these guys will die, the headmasters. I mean, I remember when we completed it, we had like 2 headmasters still alive, but nearly every time all of them died, but it wasn't necessarily, it didn't signal the end of the world, if you will. So, hey, wait, if I add Veritas Aura onto, just to show you what this is like, you can like throw it as a grenade. It's a secondary mechanic though that I don't ever really pay any attention to. I feel like I can do more damage without paying attention to that, or without setting up traps. It's got quite a long cooldown on her getting another bottle ready, which kind of sucks, so that's also something to consider. Don't overextend like I was about to. The guards will respawn, I believe, which is helpful. So they're allies that aren't actually appearing on your party window, which is always a good thing. What else is there to say? There's a lot of waves as well. So at the start, it might look like everything's kind of going to shit for a while. But really, I wouldn't say that it's that bad. Really, just watch for Mhenlo. Mhenlo is the guy you need to keep alive. Between each wave, there will be more dialogue, which I can read out as and when the time comes. And I think that's about it, really. It's just hard. It's just a hard mission. Somebody left a comment on my last video, actually, which I think is very true. This is good, though, that it's so hard, because it's right at the end of Winds of Change Part 3. You know, there's only one quest after this, so I like that it's hard. And also, they came up with a good point that the fact there were so many numbers, it really does feel like you're actually at war with the Sensali at the moment, which is very cool. Anyway, to my thought earlier, if you added... See, no, because... What happens if you add Veritas Aura onto, say, Norgu here? Let's say we stop him being a Paragon, because we don't need fallback during this quest, right? And we add Veritas Aura onto him, but we don't put any points into Death Magic. Now, he uses that and takes control all of the enemy minions, but because he doesn't have high Death Magic, he can't control that many minions on the field. Does that just mean all those minions go under his control and then instantly die? Because in that case, that's actually a very effective skill for clearing minions out, isn't it? Maybe I'll try that. And then if you put that on lots of heroes, that just pretty much means they're never going to have any minions. But you obviously, your minion master isn't going to be affected. Interim Headmaster Mhenlo says, we can hold them, just keep fighting. You seem surprised. They may not fly, but they certainly aren't afraid of heights. And Mhenlo says, move our forces as needed. We must hold strong. And more will attack. I just recommend staying here, especially if all the other headmasters have died already by this point. But yeah, Mhenlo, so the story, for any of you who have forgotten, Togo was the headmaster here. at this monastery. He died at the end of Factions, and there was always this question, what the hell's going on with the monastery? Who the hell was in charge here? And you'll notice that Winds of Change hasn't really had anything to do with the monastery so far, so that's just not an answer we've had. And now it's, you know, you finally get here and you figure out what's going on. Mhenlo, his story, if you remember, I would seriously recommend killing the warriors and stuff that come at you. Try not to ball up because of the risk of panic, but hey, if it happens, it happens. But yeah, Mhenlo, his story was, don't forget, he is an Ascalonian, but when he was very young, he was sent by his parents because he was like a bit of a runabout or whatever. He was sent to the monastery, and this is like where he trained and where he studied. And shit, are they casting? Oh no, Zan's dead. This isn't good. But yeah, then he was sent to the monastery. He also had that thing about his storyline where he was kind of like split between Dwayna and Balthazar as well. I feel like I'm going to wipe during this group here. This is very dangerous. Maybe I should have a second minion master. That might help. I'm not sure though. If they're using Veritas Aura, it certainly wouldn't help that much. Yeah, so, and there's all that part about his story, but he came here to this monastery. Eventually he left Factions, went back to Ascalon, and dealt with all the crap of the Searing and the plot of prophecies. But then, as you know, when Factions came, he came forward and became a very big character in the Faction storyline. So, yeah, Mhenlo's a big character. He really is a big character, and he had a tie here. So, it turns out, but I guess because he was such a good friend of Togo's by the end of Factions, once Nightfall and Eye of the North were done, he was asked to be the headmaster here. And I loved that ArenaNet thought that that might have been what happened here, and he became the headmaster. So you get to fight alongside Mhenlo once again. I think that is so cool, and I just really loved it when I first saw him. When I came here in normal mode, I loved that bit of the story. That was awesome. Wow, did I just see like a bunch of people get spiked out dead, or did my party window just change? The party window just changed. So I loved that. And in hard mode, there is additional stuff, which happens like at the end of the third wave, I believe. Mhenlo says, they are greater in number, but our wills are stronger. I need to keep popping clovers. I'm almost tempted. Yeah, shall we use a Tengu support flare here? Why not? Because at the end of the day, it's the second to last quest, and we can keep using it, and it is a Tengu mission. Have I got any cons or anything? I really didn't want to fail this. This is the thing, because it's annoying because it takes such a long time to get back to where you were, and I'm going to have to make a mental note of exactly where I was as well. Increase my attack speed, why not? Go on, eat a bit of pie. Will the pie be the thing that saves me from this quest? I don't know. Mhenlo, see, we've now even got even more allies. Mhenlo says they're great in number. Oh, he didn't say anything else, really. So it's at the end of this wave, should I survive it, that there's more information. Now, some people will recommend you speak to that person for the bottles and at least have some traps set up on the staircase, because that will probably help you. But I would recommend going for necromancers as well before too many corpses build up, if you can be smart enough to have a look around there. I mean, if they're caught in AoE like you just saw that they were there, though, then you shouldn't have too much of a problem. This is good, though. We've pretty much delayed this assault here. But now this next one's coming in from the side, and these guys have got no minions to stop them. So hopefully I can grab aggro from some of them. It's these warriors. You see how many there are? They can really get in, and especially if they target Mhenlo, they can fuck you up. I'm not going to lie. They can